constituency from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I want to wholeheartedly adopt the position some of my colleagues have taken, but it is important that we understand when crime is being classified and narrowed down. The motion in question is very clear. Nana made us to understand that the motion that he brought about the kidnap of the 4 sisters were carried out by herdsmen. We are Nigerians. We know that not every herdsman is a kidnapper or a criminal. But when a consistency of crime comes out from a particular area, it's proper to narrow it down for you to be able to address it. The challenge we have as a nation is that we have refused to develop the critical infrastructure needed to manage a large nation by leveraging on technology. We are pretending and playing ostrich. It is important that we note that for us to handle crimes in this nation, it is very, very crucial that we must go back to the basics, even by the colonial masters. We must begin to document and have registration for death and birth of every citizen of Nigeria, which will be linked to his biometrics and his national, and we must develop a standard national addressing system. Why is it difficult to track crimes in Nigeria? Because criminals always get swallowed up in the huge population we have because they are not easily narrowed down. Somebody can hide under the pretext that he's a herdsman, but meanwhile he's not. He got embedded into the place, carried arm, commits crime, and people will say, herdsmen. In the face of the herdsmen, out of 1 million herdsmen, you have 2, 3, 4 criminals. It's so insignificant. But the truth is that it is embedded in that. So if you must map crime, there must something you use to link it. He's looking for address. He's looking for the person. And we must leverage on technology. So we must insist as a parliament that death and birth registration must emanate from all the local governments. So that way we can map out and determine who are criminals. So this issue is not different. You cannot blame police because we as a nation have not developed the needed infrastructure for them to fight crime. If you must leverage on technology, there must be a basic database. We are not working on it, and today we are in a modern world. No method you will use to fight crimes like this that will not be linked to technology, considering the population we have. Today, if you want to visit nations like China, where they have over 1 billion people, they must take your biometrics. It is difficult for us to know who are Nigerians and who are not Nigerians. We don't know our citizens. They are not properly identified. So it is difficult to map crime. That's why we speculate. And the sentiments cannot solve the problem. We must go to the root and see every Nigerian as the same and map crimes the way crimes will be mapped. That is where we can eliminate all these issues. Whether it's Igbo man or Hasman or Fulani man or anything, crime is crime. As a parliament, we have the responsibility to stand up and say that the laws we have, whether Population Commission Act, that said that every citizen must be registered in his local government, every death or birth must be registered. And we must have a national addressing system, and we'll begin to map crime and use leveraging on technology. We can afford to solve this national problem and stop looking at anybody. These sentiments we are putting up here is not going to solve the problem. It's the same thing we are talking, the same way we will use the database to solve our social problems, whether it's educational, to plan for education, to plan for health, to plan for everything we want to use in the nation. We must have basic data that will help us to identify those who are criminals, and the law will apply to those people adequately. So that is the issue. The basic thing must be done, because even the colonial master used to keep the cow heads we have. That is the basis for taxation. Today, as a nation, we cannot generate enough revenue, not because we don't have revenue windows. The tax nets are empty, and these are things we are state will generate revenue to drive processes, and we stop borrowing things we don't need for. We are borrowing money to drive our government, and a lot of things are happening. We have enough resources. So many informal sectors are there. When we want to build a nation, we must use the critical infrastructure that will build a nation so that we can take care of all the social problems that will emanate from development. Crime is crime. So I am begging and pleading that in terms of this, why I stood up, it's not that people have not spoken, but our living the real issue and talking about things that does not matter as a nation is what we are looking at. Not to classify crime as from herdsmen or from Igbo tribe or from Fulani. It is not. All crimes are crimes. So we are asking that if it is mentioned, if today that herdsmen are together, they should shout the criminals among them and submit them to the law. So it's giving them bad name. That's the way to defend yourself. If you're an Igbo man and your brothers are kidnapped, report him to the law. Don't hide him, don't bury him, don't protect him. We're in 7th Assembly when we are talking about Boko Haram, people were pretending until it gets to them. Nobody could go home. We must address the issue. So my standing up here in support of this motion is that we should include in this prayer that there is a need for our country to establish the needed database that will help us to map crime. That's when police will start their proper investigative work. If there is record, the police can match information and data, match addresses, and root out criminals and treat crime the way crime should be treated in any developed world. Thank you.